I drove a couple blocks out into the country, and I sped up to 130 kilometers an hour, and I drove my car into a telephone pole. And I just laid in the car, and 911 was coming through the on-call, and I kept on hanging up on them. I didn't want them to find me. I was angry. I was angry that I was still alive. I grew up with my mother and my father in Dresden, Ontario, and from a young age, I always knew that I was different. Like growing up, I was a happy kid, and then eventually the depression became too much, and in grade 9, I went to my school counselor and told him that I had thoughts of suicide. And around this time is when I started on benzodiazepines. When I was 16, I started smoking marijuana. So I was on my benzodiazepines, on sleeping pills, and smoking marijuana daily. I eventually dropped out of high school in grade 11. I ended up getting pregnant with my oldest daughter. And after her birth, I went through a very difficult time with her father, which led me into abusing cocaine. Addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful, right? So as soon as those drugs hit me, it was a do-all, end-all. I had been up for about 5 days. I tried using crack cocaine, and I got set off. I had lost my kids, I was homeless, I had nowhere to go, no one wanted me, and I felt isolated, alone, and powerless. The paramedic took my hand and he said, "I understand how you feel." Something that you could hear every day that's so regular, I understand, but that moment, it was so impactful in my life and in my recovery. I look at it as sort of like a spiritual awakening. There was nothing physically wrong with me, so I was sent up to the psychiatric ward in St. Thomas Hospital. They released me with a new diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. For once, I had an answer to why I was the way I was. I went to my first 12-step program, and I felt like I wasn't terminally unique anymore. So I got a hold of all the services I could. Blue Water Health helped me immensely. I got counseling through them, did programs like a 5-week outpatient, seeking safety. My sobriety date is January 8th, 2019. I have half custody of my kids back. CAS has closed my file. All of the pain and suffering that I put myself through for my entire life, I didn't have to anymore. Ooh. I didn't have to live in pain anymore, and I had people that I could talk to that understood me. If I could have everyone in a room that has supported me and loved me through this, I would say to them, thank you. Each one individually saved my life in a different way and built me up to be the person that I am today. And I can say today that I do love myself.